So welcome back to HR Week 2021, and naturally you've chosen this one here, track A, with me for the next 20-25 minutes or so. So here, if you think about the way we worked in the past and then compare that to how we're working together right now or alone right now as well, it can be a very, very complex set of ideas naturally, really kind of difficult and a challenge to kind of make sense of. And so in terms of the work in the future, in 2022, and then moving forward 5 years or 10 years, even more probably difficult to predict. But over the next session now, we're going to kind of hopefully make sense of some ideas that will help us really sort of move forward, at least with our first steps in 2022. So please welcome to our session right now, Senior Account Director, Enterprise CE at Adriatics at LinkedIn, Mr. Mitja Korelc. Mitja, are you there? I can see you. You can see me.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Hi, Peter.
And we can hear you as well. How you doing? All good?
All good on my side. Hope you're
Where are
doing
you right
well.
now? Tell us, where are you?
So I'm located here in Dublin, in Ireland.
Dublin, fantastic. How's the weather there? How's the weather right now?
As I usually say, before I moved to Ireland, my parents gave me umbrella as a goodbye gift, but I didn't use it much, so it's quite okay. It's getting cold.
Well, you say that now. From tomorrow, it's probably all going to change because you've jinxed it. Right, but anyway, I'll leave it over to you. And remember, everybody, you're curious, you've got questions. You want to challenge Mitja on some of the ideas as well, pop it in the chat and we'll do questions at the end. Mitja, over to you.
Perfect. Thanks again, Peter. So I'm sharing my screen now. And so hi, good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here again this year. And thanks to the whole HR at World team for organizing another great event. Hope I'll have a chance to meet with some of you during this week. I see it's a packed agenda with lots of interesting sessions. So hope we'll have a chance to meet at some networking event during the breaks. So the motto of my presentation today will be the future of work is built on trust. So at LinkedIn, these past 18 months have taught us one very important lesson, that one size fits all approach doesn't actually fit anymore. We learned that every individual and every team works differently, so there is no reason to go back on how the things were pre-pandemic. Instead, we are embracing flexibility, both hybrid and remote works, and removing the expectations to be in office for 50% of the time. And as the CEO of LinkedIn, Rainer Ruslansky, is saying, we trust each other to do our best work where it works best for us. Okay, so let's go now to the agenda for today's presentation. So today we'll have the opportunity to build on what we learned to better prepare for the future of work. We will start with the in-depth analysis of where the businesses are at the moment and how the workforce is feeling. So let's go to see how the employees are feeling. So employees are feeling obviously anxious, tired. A lot of them are experiencing burnout because what we see, the digital overload has actually increased substantially since March 2020, and it's making everyone exhausted. So this exhaustion can be blamed on many things. Let's say the speed and urgency of the virtual work. In-person conversation before gave us the chance to find the meaning when we are assessing the tone, when we are talking to somebody face-to-face. We could see the social cues and obviously as well the body language. Unfortunately, this does not exist in virtual workplace. And as the average number of meetings and chats are rising steadily from the last year, so does as well employee fatigue, anxiety, and the burnout rates. And according to the Microsoft Work Trend Index in 2021, 37% of the global workforce says that their companies are asking too much of them at the time like this. And that's across all the industries. So how do we avoid the workplace burnout? Obviously, to reduce the risk of burnout, people say that it's great to take a rest, to have some quiet time during the day, and even a couple of minutes per day could make a difference. let's say, especially between the meetings or having a regular break during the day. So, however, if we are looking at the Microsoft Work Trend Index, it shows that 62% of the team calls and team chats are being unscheduled and conducted ad hoc. And also, as well, employees are feeling the pressure to keep up. With 50% of all the messages and chats are being responded within 5 minutes or less. So while taking some time during the day for a break could be a great start to prevent the burnout, leaders also need to revisit the calendars and ask themselves if all the meetings are necessary. Okay. Also, when we look at the LinkedIn data, suggests that working remotely can have a positive impact on the inclusion and belonging. Today, businesses have opportunity to create a work environment that enables employees to open up more. Employees in remote work-friendly businesses are 14% more able to speak up their mind and 9% more likely to say that their leaders value diversity. Okay. Now, let's look where the organizations are at the moment. So 6 out of 10 leaders are considering redesigning their physical office space to better accommodate the hybrid work environments. Now, more than ever, obviously, businesses are expected to emphasize with the employees' challenges. But that's not all. So pandemic pushed businesses to reshape on how to retain the staff, how to maintain, and how to rebuild their company culture to fit this new way of working. And obviously how to attract the new talent to future-proof their business. If we're looking here, the comment coming from Unilever, they're saying similar things. So 9 to 5 work life, it's no longer relevant or what people are looking. They are thinking about the flexible working schedule, focusing on skills and looking at the project-based opportunities for the employees. To find to cover the gaps and to reskill the employees with the new skills. Okay, so the future of work. Let's go now to the future. The future of work will be flexible and built on trust. We say goodbye traditional office. Welcome to the center of collaboration, creativity, and culture. The future of work is flexible, and these 3 pillars, which we will check now, will help organizations to create a new working environment that can be a win-win for everyone. So now let's look each of those pillars individually and talk about them and see how you can tailor them to fit your business. Okay, so let's start with the collaboration. So obviously collaborate with employees to create more fair and more inclusive workspace. How we do that? So getting the feedback and insights from employees is always a very great starting point for any business who wants the best of the both worlds. This shows that the challenges are being understood and nobody would feel unfairly out. Working remotely can be as well a great benefit for employees, but not all companies can afford to do so. Fortunately, there are also some other aspects that can bring a high level of flexibility, let's say such as different work schedule to avoid the rush hours, potentially a 4-day work week, job sharing, or I even heard cases of having a takeaway service that prepare dinners so employees can enjoy more personal time in the evening, daycare, sports center, and so on. Okay, second pillar would be to find the opportunities for employees to show their true potential. So businesses need to start thinking outside of the box. And by the box, we mean the physical workplace. There are many ways in which space can empower and inspire employees, such as having, let's say, some quiet and brainstorming zones or potentially hot desking. Now, when you decided on what the workplace would look like, you need to reassess your team's strengths to identify the unknown skills or find out what the new skills they would like to learn. This will also help to fill the role internally before going externally. Okay, and then the third pillar is a sense of community. So LinkedIn research of C-level executives across Europe during the crisis in September 2020 found out that majority, so 69%, have had the opportunity to build closer relationship with their employees, with almost half of them communicating with the workforce more regularly than before the pandemic. Okay, so we saw what that means for employees. Now let's look what that would mean for the businesses. So according to the Glint People Success Tool, a great communication in a workplace is a key to unlock competitive advantages for the years ahead. Here are 3 organizational habits which can help your businesses to engage with employees, build trust, and also boost productivity. If we go to the first one, so getting the feedback and insights, business leaders can gather the feedback from the employees before or prior opening the workplace and then survey them again after returning to the office. This will help them also to make some adjustments, which can then help company going forward. Second one, focus on what's important. Obviously, conversations are let's say, the best way to build the trust, prioritize goals, find any roadblocks if there are, and get the employees to commit to the plan. Make time for the regular one-to-ones to ensure your employees are being, employees' needs are being addressed, and focus on what's the most important for every individual success. And then acknowledge and celebrate wins. So what the future would look like, reassure that staff in times of uncertainty by communicating clear action, having the regular updates, and obviously everybody likes to celebrate the wins along the way. Okay, so, and what would that mean for the employees? If we check the report Future of Jobs 2020 in World Economic Forum, they're saying that 50% of all employees will need certain reskilling until 2025, and 85% of the jobs that exist in 2030, that will exist in 2030, they are not been invented yet. So now let's look at the 5 skills which companies are looking at the moment for. So if we go to the first one, creativity, it's obviously a must-have trait. No matter what the job is, businesses are always looking for employees who can bring certain ideas to the table, think outside the box, and see the bigger picture. Also, incorporating some brainstorming sessions with other departments can be a great way to add some creativity to the work-related activities. Persuasion. Obviously, a different perspective can be challenging, especially when you're trying to sell the idea, a service, or a product. So it's no surprise that businesses are looking for people who can turn a no to a yes. Third one, collaboration. Working in teams is almost inevitable in today's world of work. So collaboration can ease the workflow, increase the productivity, and bring a sense of belonging. Fourth one, emotional intelligence, obviously listening to other people's perspective, being self-aware, having the empathy for others are all highly valued today. Also, people with strong emotional intelligence are more likely to adapt to the fast changing environment. They can think creatively and stay productive in the times of uncertainty. And the final one, so adaptability. The more people are willing to change, the easier is then to get to the productive mindset, no matter what's the working environment. So what does all of that mean for the talent professionals? Talent professionals will lead the way in reshaping the workforce and the workplace of the future. We are learning to keep up with ever-changing world of work. Talent professionals have the opportunity to reshape the business models and support employees as they are navigating through these uncertain times. One way of going forward would be to collaborate more closely with other departments to help to build a workplace that works for the workforce. And as the demand for recruiters is increasing at scale all across Europe, now it's actually a good time to look at as well the non-traditional backgrounds too. Let's say people coming from sales or business development roles. Having worked in other departments can also help to create training programs which can inspire employees and harness skills to keep them more engaged. So I would finish the speech today with 3 of the keywords which we talk about it recently a lot. So from Microsoft, we heard a lot about the hybrid paradox. So that's the paradox when they surveyed the workforce. 70% of the people would like to have that human connection, but at the same time, 70% of the people wants that flexibility which remote work is offering. So hybrid paradox. Second one, it's the great reshuffle. If we are looking at the data on LinkedIn year on year, 2020 to 2021, we saw that 54% of the members changed their current role on LinkedIn, which is obviously a very high number. So what we especially see is, let's say, if we look at the Generation Z specifically, there were more than 80% of the role being changed year on year. And then if we are looking at the average, the number would be 54. So there has been a lot of changes, a lot of upskilling, reskilling during the last 1 year. And the final one, reskilling, upskilling, we see that skills are the new currency. Jobs are changing very rapidly. So skills needed to be effective in the role are being new added to the job requirements. So there is a lot of learning to be done. And to close out, I can just say that obviously we are all in this together. And yeah, good luck to everyone. Have a nice day.
Mitja, wonderful. Thank you so much. Just listening to the insights, intrigued all along the way, really. And what you said at the beginning there in terms of helping companies helping employees to really find their true potential and find those opportunities to do that. And just a question around that. So over the last couple of years, since COVID struck naturally, I'd love to hear what LinkedIn has been doing for its employees in terms of really helping everyone to find their own true potential, certainly in these times where everything kind of is more remote than ever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if to answer on that question is actually, I can say with my final statement. So saying that we are all in this together. So we are all learning along the way. We are seeing what are the trends, what other companies are doing. So basically, we just need to find the best way going forward. And as I said, we are all in this together, trying to find the way that it's a win-win situation for the employees, for the workplace, for the workforce. Yeah.
We've got a question coming through right now. Feedback or feed forward? Feedback or feed forward? What is better? What are you saying?
I'd probably say both. So feedback is obviously very, very important during the one-to-ones to see what we are doing good, where are the areas where we can improve. And feed forward obviously can be part of the one-to-one, and just you can see that as well as part of the coaching when a manager or a coach can help the employee to get the new skills, to apply for the new roles and etc. So I would say both.
Okay, and finally, again, those skills, those soft skills that I heard you say again. Not most of them we know about, most of them we understand, but it's always good that we see those and they're highlighted, and it reminds us of those areas: creativity, persuasion, collaboration, emotional intelligence, and adaptation. Again, I'd just like to hear, intrigued, what LinkedIn is doing in terms of helping employees to become really adaptable and changing. I guess at LinkedIn, it's all about adapting anyway, because it's an ever-changing environment anyway, but I'd love to hear. Give us a little bit of insight into what you guys are doing at LinkedIn.
Yeah, so actually I remember from the last year session when we had we spoke about how the HR role is actually changing globally. And one of the main skills which for the HR professionals, it was actually adaptability, because a lot of things are changing. And obviously HR was on the front foot of that. So adaptability was one of the main skills for the HR professionals that was end of 2020 at the time. Yeah, so basically we need to go back on I would say on the learning, upskilling, trying to get the skills for the new role. A lot of things are changing globally, so we are focusing a lot in learning and upskilling the employees, and obviously getting the feedback from the workforce on a very regular basis, to understand how the workforce is feeling and try to implement certain changes going forward.
Mitja, that's fantastic to hear from you. Fantastic to give us all those insights as well. But before I leave, I have one last question for you right now. The picture behind you, where is that? I'm just guessing Caribbean. Where is it from?
To be
the
honest,
one above your head.
Yeah, I think this one is. I think that's somewhere
Was that
in Italy.
another present before you left for Dublin with your umbrella?
No, that's just a present I got here. It looks very similar to Ireland, but I think it's not. It's Italy. I think it's somewhere in Italy.
Okay, Mitja, thank you so much for your insights. Again, everybody that's tuned in, if you want to reach out to Mitja for some more ideas or just collaboration potentially in the future, do that. But right now, thank you so much, Mitja.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
Wonderful. Right. Again, what we just heard there, we've got those 5 skills, a lot of them very dear to me. Just to remind you, a little bit later on Friday, I'll be sharing a very, very short session all about ideas on really sharing your messages virtually, how you can be more persuasive using storytelling, using ideas, hitting into that emotional intelligence to really create emotion with the people you're talking to. That's a little bit later on Friday, and I hope you'll be joining me for that in the afternoon on our last day. But for now, what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a very, very short break indeed, and at 10:20, we'll be moving on to the next session, which is a healthy discussion, panel discussion, all about talent management. So join us at 10:20 for the next session of HR Week 2021.